Eidl grant is back in the third stimulus package. The bill has now been finalized in the subcommittees of the House of Representatives and will head to a final vote in the House by February 22nd. It's then off to the Senate, where it could still be modified. The push is underway to get the Eidl grant bigger and bolder than proposed in the third stimulus package. The second stimulus package pays the remainder of your $10,000 Eidl grant from 2020 and also opens it up for new applicants as well. How do you get the Eidl grant? Enjoy this Overnight LA video with a throwback explaining how you get the Eidl grant. The application is the same. It hasn't changed in the last year. So it's important you answer the questions correctly and informatively, because ultimately the faster you do it right, the faster you get approved. Enjoy this Overnight LA video on the Eidl grant. Are Eidl grant applications going under serious review for low experience scores? That's the exclusive today, and thanks for tuning in for Saturday, May 9th. This is LA Late. As always, like and subscribe. And always, please drop your comments below. We got 6 major videos today. The Eidl loan video is a long one because we answered a lot of your questions. So if you watch this video, also watch that one, which is much more comprehensive. You had a lot of questions. We also have one on PUA, how to safeguard your business financially going forward, and what instruments you should financially have ready, and also one about the controversy with coronavirus and the NFL. Watch that, exciting news. So let's get right to the Eidl grant. The bombshell, there's actually 2 of them that are coming in today about the Eidl grant are the following: the credit score agency, the credit score itself, and actually a third bombshell. When and how does this loan process kick in thereafter? You know, on Friday, we dropped the major exclusive that if you applied for an Eidl grant, you should have received your money already. And if you have received your Eidl grant, your Eidl loan portal invite email will come 2 to 3 weeks thereafter. But what's happening after that? Here are more details today. So let's back up. Some of you have received your Eidl grant money and others have not. We've detailed over the last week a lot of reasons why you may not have received your Eidl grant. To recap, it may have been unable to verify identity. That when you apply for an Eidl, it asks for 2 possible prongs at the top: sole proprietorship or businesses 500 employees or less. If you applied as a solo proprietorship, that meant it was your name personally, which you should have put in there. And then you should have put your personal bank account and your personal social security number. If you didn't do any of that, you need to call SBA because you didn't do it correctly. And you will get flagged as unable to verify identity. The next step you could have chosen instead, if it applied to you, was businesses 500 employees or less. This is where you have a LLC or corporation. And you would have put the corporation or the LLC's name in there and its EIN. And then under banking information, you would have put the bank account for that corporation. If you didn't do any of those things correctly, but click the button 500 employees or less, you also need to call SBA right away. So then what happens thereafter? Well, LA readers have certainly known, and you've known by now, that right before the grant is approved, an experience score is checked. We had asked you, were other credit agencies checking the score, and was a low credit score causing your Eidl grant money not to be sent? No. By all indications, very, very low credit score applicants are still getting the Eidl grant money. That's the first thing. Second thing is only one agency appears to be queued for checking credit, and that is Experian. But here is the surprising news for Saturday, for today. On Friday yesterday, we said that 2 to 3 weeks after you receive your grant check, you should receive an email from SBA. But today we can reveal to you what may unfold negatively for you thereafter. The email that comes to you 2 to 3 weeks after your grant is approved is an email from SBA. It says, click here to go to the portal for SBA to start to process your EIDL loan. You click that email, and since you do an SBA portal, you put in your username, you create a username, create a password. But what happens after that? One reader today exclusively revealed to you and us the details of that step thereafter. The individual indicated that he was asked to accept a loan amount of $1,000 to $24,000. It still remains unclear because not enough of you have received this email, and if you have, drop in the comments below. If everyone is getting $1,000 to $24,000 as the loan amount offer after receiving a grant, or if there are bigger loan amounts that are going out there. Someone dropped in one of the comments, it's up to $150,000. SBA's website indicates it's up to $2 million. The applicant then clicked a few buttons, verified this and verified that, and then verified his identity. And that was essentially it. There were no other documents requested of him at that point. And then 24 hours later, he was denied without any further discussion of the subject matter. Now, what is going on? LLH simply does not know. In the next 7 days, this channel will evolve. As more of you apply, get that email, click it, and start to apply, we will ask you what type of loan amount were you offered and what happened after you click the button. So let's get to your comments right away. Christy says, I applied for the EIDL grant, got an email 3 days later to confirm an EIDL loan. So do I still get the EIDL advance? Yes. So that letter, that email is different than the email I was just talking about. There is an email that some of you get and some of you don't get about your grant, not about the loan. And just because you receive it doesn't mean anything, and just because you don't receive it doesn't mean anything either. It's just an email that says, hey, we gave you your money and we're still working on your file. Now, if you receive that email and you have still not received the grant, call up the SBA and ask for them, where is your grant money? Paul says, I would like to thank you. You're so easy to understand. Well, thank you. And sorry, sometimes I speak a little fast, but thank you so much, Paul. Highway Runner, I received my PPP loan today, received my grant on April 15th last month, got an email from SBA last Saturday saying my application was reviewed and the order was received. Will I be able to get the EIDL loan? Good videos, very informative. Yes, Highway. So if you got your grant on April 15th, your EIDL grant, you will get your loan EIDL loan portal email invite about 2 to 3 weeks after April 15th, which should be starting next week, about 7 days after this video is being produced. Heartfelt Music. Thank you, LLA. Well, thank you for tuning in, Heartfelt. Yet 2. Thank you for the update. I got my grant on 4/21. I think from your information, I should get the email from SBA. Thanks. You will. 4/21, you're in the queue. 2 to 3 weeks. Count on your calendar. And when you get the email, comment below. Everyone comment below when you get this email to explain what it looks like. Grandma Ducky says, I spoke with SBA concerning the grant today. Tier 2 supervisor said their funding comes in sporadic payments. Well, this is interesting. And they're waiting for more funding. Well, that's crazy. That's really crazy. She said they have 6 million applications and thousands of calls per day. She said they're currently running 6 to 8 weeks behind on this. You know, I can tell you this. For those of you who applied for grants, May 30th to early April, there's a lot of comments from you saying you got nothing. And for those of you who applied for grants, you know, mid-April, you've gotten the grant by now. I don't know what's going on. I really, really don't know what's going on. I said this in the loan video as well today. I don't know what's going on. I do also know that territorial issues are at play, that these are sometimes processed by territory. And so someone has dropped in the comment 2 days ago out of Pennsylvania that there was just a whole meltdown of their servers. Things were having to be done manually, and that those processes were backed up. So just because you assume something is the situation for one of your friends or a fellow commenter that applied that day, it may not be the case for you, because these issues may be processed, these applications may be processed regionally, not nationally. And if there's a regional problem, that could cause your delay. Jose Amador says he got a grant, presumably that's what he means. He got a grant with an Experian 600. So there you go again. Experian, it's always Experian. Of all our boys, 500 comments since Friday, it was always Experian, and most of you said that your credit score for the grant was in the 600 range. I guess no one watches this channel with an enormous credit score. But the issue is what happens, when you get to that loan. We just don't know. You don't know. I don't know. And it's, just because you got a grant doesn't mean you're going to get a loan. We do know that people have been declined for the Eidl loan at $650. Now, is that universal policy? Is it geographic territory policy? But the good side of the story is we do know that people are getting grant checks despite incredibly low experience scores, even to the 500s, apparently, according to some commenters. Sean says his Eidl grant was a result of an Experian check. There you go. So Eidl grant, a lot of strange stuff today, and it's going to unfold. In the next 7 days, you're going to receive this email from SBA, and it's going to just basically say, hey, click here and be invited to a portal, go in the portal, set up a username, set up a password, and then it's going to start to ask you questions. If you receive that email, drop in the comments what the email says as to range. Jeep Willie on the loan video that we produced today says that his email said the range that he was offered from SBA for his Eidl loan was $1,000 to $24,000. If you get the email, and you will probably in the next 7 days after this video goes live, drop in the comments of that video, whatever video you're watching, because we're updating this daily, what range you got as an offer. And then explain what you did next, because it appears, according to Jeep Willie, is that you basically just answer a few quick questions and then you just wait, and in his case, just denied. And if that happens to you, indicate if you were denied as well, and indicate what your credit score, if you know. If you were approved, or if you were told to do more and upload documents, explain as well. We just don't know. I mean, there is just no microcosm information at this point, but you. And you're what helps this channel grow. So as always, stay with LA for more.